Good afternoon everyone. My topic is rickets. Primarily in rickets, bone softening is seen, which is either due to faulty process of bone mineralization or due to deficient or impaired metabolism of either vitamin D, phosphate or calcium, which leads to rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults. So the topic will be understood under four headings: etiopathogenesis, clinical presentation, diagnosis and treatment and prevention. So what is rickets? Rickets is a disease of growing bones due to defective mineralization at the growth plate or epiphyseal plate in growing children. Osteomalacia is the same condition in adults. It is majorly seen in long bones. Adequate calcium and phosphate levels are required for bone mineralization, and vitamin D is essential for calcium homeostasis or maintenance of the calcium levels in the body. Types of rickets: nutritional rickets or vitamin D deficiency rickets, vitamin D dependent rickets, which is further of two types, type 1 and type 2, vitamin D resistance rickets, which looks like rickets, and secondary rickets. Etiology of rickets is vitamin D deficiency. So we'll understand what is vitamin D. It is a fat soluble vitamin often known as sunshine vitamin. What is the role of vitamin D in the body? It maintains the calcium levels in the body, absorption of calcium and phosphate in small intestine, reabsorption of calcium and phosphate in the renal tubule, and normal mineralization of bone. Vitamin D is of two types, D2 and D3. D2 also known as ergocalciferol, which is commonly found in plants, and D3 or cholecalciferol, commonly found in animals. So what is vitamin D metabolism? Vitamin D metabolism, the exogenous form of vitamin D that is we get from the diet, and D3 that is cholecalciferol. These vitamins D2 and D3 are inactivated until hydroxylated in the liver. This activated form stimulates the intestinal absorption of calcium and thus acts in the formation of bone. In both rickets and osteomalacia, the organic matrix of the bone fails to calcify properly, leaving more osteoid tissue. The endogenous vitamin D, which is cholecalciferol, is found in the skin. Ultraviolet light or sunshine activates these endogenous vitamin D to form an activated vitamin D. So sunshine is required for proper vitamin D production. So to calcify bone matrix properly, vitamin D is essential. Pathogenesis. What are the causes of vitamin D deficiency? First is disorders associated with vitamin D synthesis, which is deficiency in cutaneously synthesized vitamin D, which is the skin, and second is lack in dietary intake. The second is disorders associated with vitamin D absorption. Third is chronic diseases of the liver or kidney, and fourth is hereditary or congenital anomalies of metabolism of vitamin D, calcium and phosphate. Sun exposure. Daily of 20 to 30 minutes of sun exposure, especially between 10 to 3 p.m. 3 to 4 times a week, ensures vitamin D in people. Vitamin D malabsorption problems. First is celiac sprue. Celiac sprue is mainly because of the glycogen which is not being able to digest by the body, which results in diarrhea. Second is short bowel syndrome, and third is cystic fibrosis. Hereditary or congenital anomalies of metabolism of vitamin D, calcium and phosphate. First is vitamin D dependent rickets of first type or pseudo vitamin D deficiency rickets. in which there is the defect in the gene coding of renal 1-alpha hydroxylase, which is an autosomal recessive disease. The second is vitamin D dependent rickets of type 2, which is hereditary 1-alpha 25 dihydroxy vitamin D resistant rickets, in which the mutation exists in the vitamin D receptors. It is an autosomal recessive disease again. Third is vitamin D resistant rickets, which is a familial hypophosphatemic rickets, in which there is mutation of the phosphate regulating gene on the X chromosome. So, clinical presentation, the way the patient comes to us are: nutritional rickets occurs in children about 1 year old. It may occur in older children with malabsorption syndrome. Following are the clinical features, the first being the craniotapes, second is bossing of the skull, third is delayed teeth eruption, fourth is pigeon chest, fifth is rachitic rosary, sixth is broadening of ends of the long bones, and seventh is knock knees and bow legs. First, physical examination. We start from head to toe. First being head. In head, craniotapes are seen, which are the areas of thinning and softening of the bones of skull. It manifests early in infants older than 2 to 3 months. It is detected by pressing firmly over the occiput or posterior parietal bones. A ping pong ball sensation will be felt. Second is frontal bossing, which gives the head a box-like or square-headed appearance, also known as caput quadratum, as seen in the pictures, frontal bossing and craniotapes. Second being the chest, knobby deformities or rachitic rosary or rosary beads along the costochondral junctions are seen. This is mainly on X-rays. Second is a weakened rib pulled by muscles, also producing flaring over the diaphragm, which is also known as a Harrison groove, as seen in the picture. Third is pigeon-chested deformity, which is clearly seen in the picture as the chest wall muscles are pressed inwards. Now is the extremities. Mainly there is enlargement or thickening of the wrist or ankles. Second most commonly seen is genu varum or bowing of the legs. The normal legs and the genu varum we see, so which is a clear picture indicating rickets. This is physical examination of spine, where kyphosis is seen. This is a non-specific examination. First being the neurologic abnormalities. It is observed in all cases and relieved at initial period of disease, that is as irritability, interrupted sleep or sweating. Second is occipital alopecia. Increased sweating, particularly around the head, also may be present as a non-specific symptom, which leads to occipital alopecia. Muscular hypotonia, generalized muscular hypotonia, in which floppy baby syndrome or slinky baby, such that the baby is floppy and slinky like. Diagnosis. We are able to diagnose by the following laboratory findings. Firstly, a serum examination is done of the following, in which first is calcium, where there will be decreased calcium levels seen. Second is phosphorus. Decreased phosphorus levels are seen, and alkaline phosphatase is increased. Additional 25-hydroxy vitamin D is also reduced. Parathyroid hormone is increased, and there is a urine test known as Sulkowicz urine test. So now the radiological findings. Rickets leads to cupping or fraying like appearance at the epiphyseal ends. This is the radiographs of a knee of a 3.6-year-old girl with hypophosphatemia, which depicts severe frayings at the metaphyseal. This is the AP and lateral view of the wrist, demonstrating cupping and frying of the metaphyseal region. So like I said before, rosary beads are mainly on X-rays, which are clearly seen. So lastly, the treatment and prevention. Medically, administration of vitamin D as a single dose is done. If there is improvement seen on X-ray, then it is repeated. Orthopedic treatment, there are two treatment methods to follow: conservative and operative. Conservative, if there is mild deformity, then it will heal on its own, and if it's moderate or severe deformities, then a surgical intervention is needed. Thank you.